Rundown on Bakersfield.com and the CSUB Roadrunners Digital Network. Live from the Dignity Health Studios in downtown Bakersfield, California.
Welcome into Roadrunner Rundown, the official program, CSUB Roadrunner Athletics. Thanks so much for joining us here as we film the show today on this Veterans Day. Salute to all those of you in uniform that have served us. Thanks so much for joining us on the program as well. And here on Bakersfield.com, GoRunners.com as well. We got a lot of stuff to get to on the show today. It is basketball season. Yes, it is basketball season. The season sort of opened for the men's team last weekend in an exhibition. We'll get to those scores in a moment. Also, the women's squad will open their season this Friday night. Bakersfield hosting Air Force at the Icardo Center, and we will speak with head coach Greg McCall coming up in the next segment. He will preview the upcoming season, and of course, Friday's matchup. Really, after a Friday, it gets kind of rough as well. They have a good Air Force squad coming in Friday. Then they go on the road for Arizona and Arizona State the next few days after that. So it's going to be a tough road to hoe there for the beginning of the season for women's basketball. We'll chat with Greg McCall coming up. He's got a good squad this year. We'll talk about that in the next segment. Also coming up in the bottom of the hour, Josiah Castro will join us. He's our assistant AD for annual giving. Has done a fantastic job. The Roadrunner Scholarship Fund, which we've talked about on the program quite a bit. Of course, it's the sort of fundraising scholarship arm of the athletics department, has now hit a new membership total goal, a new membership record, I should say. Over 500 members of the Roadrunner Scholarship Fund. That is a first, and we'll chat with Josiah about that. Obviously, a little early in the fundraising year for the most part, about halfway through as we get through the month of November. So really a good start for them, obviously, as they try to reach another goal in raising funds for student-athlete scholarships, but definitely on the right path with a new record number of members. So we'll chat with Josiah at the bottom of the hour. And coming up last segment of the program today, Lauren Kaufman will join us. She is the CSUB Student Athlete Advisory Committee President, and she is going to be putting on, and the SAC group within CSUB Athletics, putting on a lip sync coming up as well. They got a couple things happening as we get into the holidays, that kind of stuff. They have a lip sync event coming up following our men's basketball game on the 30th, and we'll talk with her about that kind of fun event for fans to hang out and check out after the basketball game is over. And then they're also doing a toy drive for the upcoming men's and women's basketball games on campus, where those toys will be donated both locally and to the Western Athletic Conference and Athlete Advisory Committee as well for distribution throughout the conference too. So really a cool opportunity to help out, and we'll chat with Lauren. She's also on the CSUB swim team. They had action last weekend in Seattle, and then they're also in action this weekend as well at the A3 Invitational. So we'll talk with her a little swimming, a little Student Athlete Advisory Committee stuff as well. But first, a lot of scores. Like I said, basketball started, so a lot of scores and highlights to get to from this past weekend. Let us start with basketball, shall we? We'll start with men's basketball. The Roadrunners were at home hosting Whittier in an exhibition game at the Icardo Center. The Roadrunners not really having any trouble with the Poets. 82-62 Bakersfield with the victory. Javante Maynard, 24 points in the win. CSUB had 3 players in double figures, including 2 double-doubles out of Kevin Mays and also Ali Ahmed with double-doubles for the Roadrunners. Bakersfield winning it 82-62, and they're kind of soft open to the season. A game that doesn't count, but a chance to kind of run their legs a little bit, and Bakersfield gets a 20-point victory Friday night, or make that Saturday night at home. Now the season will start for real for the Roadrunners. Yes, the tropical background paradise of Hawaii is where they will start their season on the road at the Outriggers Resorts Rainbow Classic this Friday, Saturday, and the following Monday. Bakersfield takes on High Point out of North Carolina Friday night at 7 o'clock Pacific time. Then on Saturday night, Bakersfield will take on host Hawaii. That is a 9:30 Pacific time tip-off, and then against Arkansas Pine Bluff on the following Monday night, 7 o'clock Pacific time zone tip-off as well. All those games, by the way, available. The Saturday game is going to be televised on Oceanic Time Warner, the cable channel. Also, the other games, all three games, will be available on through the Roadrunner Radio Network on News Talk 1180 KERN. So a chance to make sure you follow with the Roadrunners, because, yes, I will be making the journey to make sure that we get radio broadcasts brought back to the folks here in Bakersfield. So I do what I can. I take them for the team. For the Roadrunners, opening their season for real coming up this week at the Outrigger Resorts Rainbow Invitational. All right, on to women's basketball. Bakersfield didn't have any exhibitions this year. They had a few scrimmages, but they will be opening their season for real this weekend. And check out this slate. Like I said, it's pretty tough to start. The Roadrunners will host Air Force on Friday night at the Icardo Center. That's a 7 o'clock tip-off time. Make sure you come out and check out Greg McCall's squad. That Roadrunners team is very good. Tana Outland is actually seeking, and we talked to her a couple weeks ago, the all-time scoring record at CSUB, and she starts it Friday night against Air Force at the Icardo Center. Join us for that one, 7 o'clock on the tip-off. Then the Roadrunners go on the road. They'll play Monday at the University of Arizona, and then the following Wednesday at Arizona State. So a tough start for Bakersfield. Now, this past weekend, one of the Roadrunner teams was in just a very unique situation, and that was men's soccer. They entered the weekend with 10 points in the conference. They were they had a rough patch in October where they lost 4 conference games in a row. So they were just on the edge of making the conference tournament. They started with 10 points on Friday night. And here's how the scores went down, okay? First, losing any one of their 2 matches was going to be tough, and they did. Actually, that score was flipped. Bakersfield lost to Utah Valley on Friday, 3-1. So the Runners lose the Friday match 3-1 to Utah Valley. So then on Sunday, they're in rough shape. They needed Houston Baptist, who only had 1 conference win, which was against Bakersfield, to beat Air Force, who they were battling for that last spot because Air Force had the tiebreak. Look what happened. This match happened about 2 hours before Bakersfield, so it was Houston Baptist beating Air Force 2-1. Right? So then the Roadrunners just needed a tie, or they needed to get 1 point. They just couldn't lose against Seattle, one of the top teams in the conference. The Roadrunners in double overtime, a 0-0 tie. They get 1 point, and they end the season with 11 points in conference. That beat out Air Force, who had 10. Thus, the Roadrunners have made the Western Athletic Conference tournament. Here's how the bracket plays out, and really not a bad setup for the Roadrunners because they play Utah Valley, who, yes, they lost to on Friday night here in Bakersfield, but kind of a weird night. Utah Valley, a couple long balls that found the mark, and really wasn't the best soccer in the world. So the Runners definitely have a shot against them. They'll play them on Thursday. Now the winner of that game, that is the 6-3 matchup, will play 2-seeded Seattle, whom the Roadrunners just tied, and then of course the other side of the bracket, UMKC San Jose State. That winner plays UNLV, and of course Sunday the championship. All those games up in Seattle. All those games available on the WAC Digital Network. Just go to WACsports.com. You can watch all those games. But the Runners are in, and therefore, basically, all the fall sports made the championships, which is fantastic. First time that has happened in the last couple years. So, congrats to men's soccer for making the conference tournament. That's what they have to do in order to get to that championship game on Sunday. All right, one other soccer note: women's soccer. They had their conference tournament. That was last week. Bakersfield making it for the first time, but unfortunately, that first round game was where it would end. Kind of a windy, cold night in Seattle. Didn't really bode well for the Roadrunner style of offense. They lose to New Mexico State 3-0 as they end the season in the tournament. That's how it played out. The Runners lost to New Mexico State. Seattle then just handled New Mexico State, and Seattle handled Kansas City as well. That championship team, Seattle, very good women's soccer program. They will get Washington State to open up the NCAA tournament on the women's side, and of course always pulling for those teams in the Western Athletic Conference. So good luck to the Seattle Lady Redhawks, who are the WAC champions, and will go on to play Washington State first round of the NCAA tournament. All right, on to volleyball. We're getting down to crunch time in their season as well. Bakersfield at Grand Canyon. Let's head to Phoenix for the highlights. To the 5th set we go after CSUB started down 2-0. They rallied. Great start. Danica Youngblood with the kill. She had 21. Along the way, Molly O'Hagan, she also had 21 for Bakersfield. Also, O'Hagan, the service ace and the ability. Runners have a 5-2 lead, and Grand Canyon calls timeout. Few points, the Antelopes, up 6-5. This kill by Megan Burns. Close set throughout as they switch sides at 9-8. Antelope serving. Molly O'Hagan with the overshot here. Roadrunners lead 10-8. At 11-9, a good rally for both sides until the Antelopes, well, they'll find, Bakersfield will find a way to sort of get the mishandle there and the whistle and the point for the runners. They lead 12-9. They're 3 points away from the win, but Grand Canyon not finished. They're going to get a kill coming up here off the dig, the set, and then the Grand Canyon kill off the set there to make it 12-11 CSUB. One more point for Bakersfield coming up. That's Molly O'Hagan down the line. And then, well, the runners coming up here, this trailing or up 12-11. There's the O'Hagan kill, and then this one kind of a killer. This is a service error from Bakersfield, which makes it 13-12, opening the door for the Lopes, who walk right through. An attack error coming up here for the Roadrunners into the net makes it 13-all. Antelopes are going to close it out as the block coming up to set up the match point for Grand Canyon. As Bakersfield right here blocked, and so it will go back to the Antelopes, and that's how they end it. A service ace. They beat Bakersfield 15-13 in the final set. They win the match 3-2. Kind of a not too costly of a loss for the Roadrunners, but definitely one that they handled Grand Canyon here in Bakersfield. So they lose on Saturday 3-2 at Grand Canyon. But not all is lost because the runners still in a very good spot. Let's look at the conference standings. Kansas City ahead at 10-2. By the way, they were 10-0. They've lost their last 2 conference games. So I don't know what's up with the Roos, but all of a sudden they're showing a little bit of weakness after just dominating the first part of the conference schedule. New Mexico State at number 2. So right now those are your top 2 seeds. Bakersfield comfortably at 3. They also have Seattle and Utah Valley there at 7 and 5. Runners have tie breaks over both those teams right now, but they will see those 2 teams this week at the Icardo Center, Thursday against Utah Valley and Saturday against Seattle. But the Roadrunners, that's where your conference sits right now. Top 6 make the tournament being held next week at the Icardo Center, or in 2 weeks at the Icardo Center. UTPA right now at 2-10 in that 6th spot. Grand Canyon, of course, ineligible. So the Roadrunners comfortably in the 3rd spot. They've got 2 games coming up against Seattle and Utah Valley. If they handle those this weekend, they'll be in a good spot for as they wrap up conference play. Again, it actually starts next week at the Icardo Center, the Western Athletic Conference tournament. Tickets are available. GoRunners.com. You can check out all the information. WACSports.com as well for Western Athletic Conference tournament action, which starts a week from this Thursday at the Icardo Center, and a good chance for the runners to have a shot at winning that thing with one of the top 3 seeds or so in the conference tournament picture. All right, we're going to step away and take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk women's basketball. Greg McCall is going to join us. His team opens up on Friday. They're going to host Air Force. Then they go to Arizona and Arizona State. We'll talk to him about that schedule and much, much more as we continue. This is Roadrunner Rundown.
This is dignity, the smile given to a sick child, the steps taken to find a cure, future leaders learning to make a difference, humanitarians who give from the heart, and a love that comes from above. At Mercy and Memorial Hospitals, dignity is more than just a word. It's who we are.
Current Business Journal contains news and information from local business leaders and organizations. Topics include agriculture, health and medical, energy, transportation, and more. Visit currentbusinessjournal.com to find out how to subscribe or where to pick up a free copy. To inquire about advertising in the bi-monthly business journal, call 395-7586. Find us online on Facebook and Twitter, as well as on currentbusinessjournal.com.
Save 50 to 90% with the Bakersfield Californians Daily Deal featured on Bakersfield.com. A daily deal is offered each weekday on services from local restaurants, dry cleaners, health and beauty services, retail shops, and local activities for the entire family. The daily deal is 100% local. Find these amazing deals only at dailydeal.bakersfield.com.
Catch and shoot for three.
Roadrunner basketball season tickets are on sale now. Men's home games include Delaware, UC Riverside, New Mexico State, and Valley rival Fresno State on December 6th. Get your season tickets and be guaranteed your seat when the Bulldogs come to the Accardo Center. Season tickets start at just $99 for general admission. Purchase your season tickets at GoRunners.com or by calling 654-BLUE. CSUB Roadrunner basketball back on the blue court of the Accardo Center this season. We're all runners. The Roadrunner Scholarship Fund creates educational opportunities for over 300 student athletes at CSUB. By becoming a member and donating to the Roadrunner Scholarship Fund, you're not only helping the Roadrunners fund the scholarship needs of our teams, you're investing in the future. The Roadrunner Scholarship Fund isn't just developing student athletes, we're developing tomorrow's leaders from lessons learned during competition. For more information, log on to GoRunners.com/donate and become a member of the Roadrunner Scholarship Fund.
Welcome back to Roadrunner Rundown. As we continue on the program, still to come, Josiah Castro will join us, Assistant AD for annual giving. Good news out of the Roadrunner Scholarship Fund. We'll chat with him about that. Also, Lauren Kaufman set to join us. She is the president, CSUB Student Athlete Advisory Committee, and we'll talk with her about some upcoming initiatives and fun events that CSUB SAC has planned for the next couple of weeks, and much, much more as well from Lauren on the program. But as I mentioned earlier, it is basketball season. We are here. The season will start officially for CSUB women's basketball on Friday night against Air Force at the Accardo Center. Joining us on the program once again, head coach Greg McCall. Coach, good to see you again.
Good morning. How you guys doing out there?
I'm doing well, and I know that you are you're doing well too because the season's about ready to start.
Yes. Yes.
I was asking Coach Barnes about this the other day. Like, what changes for you guys as coaches? Because I know it just seems like. With Coach Barnes and yourselves, just watching you guys the last few years, like once the season starts, like you guys just kind of shift into a different gear, right?
Yes. Yeah, we have I know I probably have a different look, a different walk, the way I approach practice and definitely games. So it's totally different. You can kind of feel it in the air and feel it all over your body.
Yeah, because not only are you obviously getting ready for your next game, but then when you have a little bit of downtime, you're probably scouting the next opponent, right?
Yes. Yeah, that's all I've been doing. I wake up at 2, 3 in the morning thinking about our program, thinking about what we have to do next, what we're going to do today in practice, start watching video of teams that we're going to be playing. I had already started like a month before, watching USC and their scrimmage, because I knew we were going to scrimmage them. So I had been watching them like almost a month before. Northridge the same, and just kind of always preparing, trying to get ahead of the game.
So, this year you guys didn't play any exhibitions. You ended up playing the 2 scrimmages,
yes.
USC and Northridge. How did those go, from a coach's perspective? What did you see as you get ready for the season to start?
Well, both of those programs are excellent programs. Both of those programs were in the NCAA tournament this past season, and we did pretty well against both of them. Against USC, they beat us the first 20-minute segment, and then we turned around, we beat them in a 20-minute series segment. So that's letting us know that we can play. In the first 20 minutes, it was a really close game. I think they only ended up beating us by like 11. And then the second, we beat them by, I think, like 3. We should have beat them by more, but we beat them by 3. Against Northridge, we beat them the first 20 minutes, and then they turned around and beat us the second 20 minutes in that. So 2 teams they probably both receive votes. I know Northridge did receive votes to be in the top 25.
Nice. And so that was kind of your measuring stick as you go into the season.
Yes.
You will open up against Air Force this Friday night.
Yes.
Home opener, you get a chance to actually open your season. Has that happened? Have you got a chance to actually open the season at home since you've been head coach? It's been a while, hasn't it?
It's been a while. I feel like it's been a while. I can't remember back, but I think this is the first time since I've been the head coach that we've actually opened up at home. So what a feeling to be able to do that for the first time. But I think we have a really good opportunity to show our fans early on what we can do out there. And I know they're anxiously awaiting as well as the players and myself.
Yeah, and I think it's fitting this year because of everything that's been said about your program and previewed about your program and how good you're supposed to be, that you get a chance to sort of open at home and give folks a chance to see your squad. We've talked a little bit about the team and who to expect to watch this year, but obviously, your offense is going to run through Tana Outland, and your thoughts on her upcoming senior season. I mean, there's a lot on the line for her as a chance to get your team to the NCAA tournament, and personally as well with some of the records she's closing in on.
Yeah, it's a really good opportunity for her to do a lot. Like I said, when we had those games last year, and they always ask, like, what do you have? What is it that you're doing differently, with your teams this year? And I just said, we have Ty. So it's as simple as that. I mean, she just does it all. She takes the best offensive player on the other team, and she defends them. Then we ask her to come down and get us points. We ask her to run the point guard spot. So she has to do everything. And this year she's improved a lot more on just the leadership role and just being able to read a lot more better on the defensive end. And you'll see her assist rate go up a lot more this year, I think. There might be a couple games where she might end up with some double-doubles.
And that's the thing, like that gets me about her. What makes her a special kind of player. She's not just looking to get points. She's just not looking to go out there and score. And I think her basketball IQ is so high that she realizes, look, I'm going to be double teamed. I'm going to, they're going to zone me, that kind of stuff. But someone's going to be open, and so she does a lot of creating the offense for other people on the team too. Yeah,
she does. She creates a lot for herself as well as for other people because, like you said, she is going to draw a lot of attention to herself, and she's learned to be able to play off of that. She's learned other ways to be able to create herself, scoring opportunities by, transitioning out really quick and getting easy buckets that way, getting to the free throw line. So she's learned so many different ways and going to the offensive board. So a lot of people don't realize how high she can jump.
Yeah.
She's so athletic, and she's able to do a lot of different things.
What's it been like for you preparing? The WAC media polls came out a couple weeks ago that selected you guys to finish first. Did anything change in your team since that happened? I mean, has it been a positive change? Have they realized obviously where the bar is at and try to reach that? I mean, has anything changed with your squad, or has it been sort of business as usual?
It's been business. Like I've told them, they haven't done anything yet. That's just on paper. We have to take what's on paper, apply it to the floor. And then once we apply it to the floor, we'll see the results. And at the end of the day, we want to be champions, and then we'll put it back on paper as we're champions. So I like that the way that's set up. Yes, we've worked hard to get ourselves in that position to be able to put that on paper to say yes, and the coaches and the other from our conference have seen that, hey, this is a team to beat. So I appreciate that part of it because we've had to work hard to get ourselves there. I'd rather be in that position versus where we were last year, at the 4th or 5th spot, and we had to prove ourselves. Now, yes, we got to prove ourselves that we are the champions, so we, have to take that off paper.
There's been like a natural progression for the women's basketball program. You were here as an assistant during the 2 years they were in the WBI as an independent in the postseason. Last year, you guys go to the WNIT, kind of a consolation prize, but still a good accomplishment for a team like you said that was picked to finish 4th or 5th in the conference. You guys end up getting the automatic bid to the WNIT. So you've kind of taken those steps. I mean, so in your mind, is the natural next progression for you guys the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely our goal. And like I said, we put ourselves in a position right now on paper to be ranked number 1. And so our girls are hungry enough to understand, and I've made that very clear that we haven't done anything yet. We still have teams in our way of our goal, and those teams are in our conference. So we have to make sure that we take care of business in the conference. We can't leave any doubt in anybody's mind that where we stand at, because they picked us there. Let's make sure that they know that we are going to be the champions.
We talked a little bit about your schedule earlier, but a lot of good games. Obviously, after you home against Air Force, you go to Arizona State, and then you open a 4-game homestand as well, just like the men's team does. And some of those dates are the same days. Wednesday the 26th against Fresno Pacific. Sunday the 30th you'll play at noon against Fresno State at the Icardo Center. Wednesday the 3rd against UC Irvine, and Saturday the 6th at 1 o'clock against UC Riverside. So you get a nice 4-game homestand as well. But some of the other highlights highlights. UNLV on December the 21st. Obviously, your assistant, Nikki Blue's former home. And
that's her scout.
Hawaii. Yeah, exactly. Hawaii a couple days before Christmas. So right before even the new year and you get into conference play, you guys have a pretty hefty schedule, both home and away games. You're going to Nebraska, you're going to Omaha, so you got a couple tough opponents in the first part of the season.
Yeah, we do, and that's where we want to be. We want to be battle tested before you go into conference. If you can do well in your preseason and go in with some confidence and things that you know that you can take into the conference with you, that'll be really good for us to be able to get it done now.
And then into the conference schedule, some of the teams that, I mean, who in your mind are the teams that are you're looking at as saying, okay, these guys are going to be a challenge? I know obviously Utah Valley was a fairly young program last year that had a lot of potential, and then again, you know, Seattle is always tough. I mean, are those the teams you're kind of looking at?
Yeah, Seattle, and then a lot of people probably don't going to sleep on Texas Pan American. Yeah. They're really young. They're a really young team, very athletic team, just like we were. So they're pretty good as well too.
Yeah, actually, I had someone from the WAC Digital Network the other day say, you know, we didn't put that UTPA and Bakersfield women's basketball game on the network. I think we're going to change that because everyone says that's supposed to be a really good game.
Yes.
And so that'll be on February the 12th in Bakersfield. You'll play them again January 17th down at their place. What did you learn last year in their first year in the conference? I keep asking everybody this question because we all learned something last year in the WAC. What did you kind of learn as a coach as you went through that first year in the conference, given the unique makeup of the Western Athletic Conference?
That you have to prepare, and every play is really, really important. You can't take any plays off. You can't have any breakdowns on different sets or different plays defensively because teams take advantage of it because they had all year to prepare, you know, for the conference. The other thing that was a big, won't be a big shock to us, we'll have that year of experience under our belt. So when we go in to the conference tournament this year, we'll understand what it is going to take to win it. If you look at the two teams that were in the championship last year, they had been there before.
Right.
And so they had that experience. So I'm expecting us to go in and do very well this year. Because we'll have another year. We'll have that first year out of the way and under our belt.
Same thing. It happened on the men's tournament side last year as well. Exactly. You had Idaho, who was a middle of the pack team at best last year, and then they beat Utah Valley in the semis, and they're in the championship against New Mexico State, who had been there for a long time. So obviously that experience is going to pay off, and you guys get a chance to be that experienced team this year in Las Vegas, which is Wednesday, March 11th through the 14th. Real quick, Friday night preview of that game. Your thoughts on Air Force as you prepare for them?
Yeah, Air Force is a really good team. You know, they'll come in pretty decent shape because of the altitude they always have to work out in. So I'm expecting them to come in pretty decent shape. So that's why we're conditioning consistently to be prepared for them. They have a really good guard that has a lot of experience there. Their record doesn't speak for what they're able to do. Well, I think we went there 2 years ago and played them there, but that's when we only had 6 and 7 players. So they beat us in overtime, I believe, at their place. And so we're expecting a different turnout this year. You know, turnabout with the game. We're expecting us to go in and do what we do. And if we take care of the things that we're supposed to take care of and not have to worry about so much of what they're doing, do our part, and we'll be successful.
Well, it sounds good. And that game, again, Friday night, 7 o'clock at the Cardo Center. And more details and online at GoRunners.com. Tickets available as well at ValleyTix.com for that game as well. Coach, good luck to you opening the season and safe travels to Arizona as well. And we'll see you in a couple weeks when you get back at home.
Yes, definitely. Look forward to having all you guys, all of our fans to come out to the game and support us.
Yep, Friday night at 7 o'clock at the Cardo Center. All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Still to come on the program, we'll be speaking with Josiah Castro, Roadrunner Scholarship Fund. Some big news out of the Scholarship Fund. We'll get to that next. We'll be right back. It's Roadrunner Rundown.
Buying a home is one of the most important decisions you can make. Scott Tobias Real Estate is here for you. Allow our seasoned and professional associates guide you through every step of the way. Scott Tobias Real Estate is a full-service real estate company providing expert assistance in residential and commercial real estate. The real estate business has changed in many ways over the years, but the desire for excellent customer service is still very much in demand. Our objective is not to be the biggest, but to offer the best real estate services. We're open 7 days a week.
I am not going to ask him about funguses.
Fungi.
Honey, have you called Gunlocks about fixing that toilet upstairs?
You know, I saw a plumbing episode on the Fix It channel. Yeah, I can fix it.
You could try it yourself, or you could just call Gunlax and save your marriage.
Hey, honey, I think I did it.
Gunlax, 327-3052.
That wasn't so bad.
Introducing TBC Mobile from the Bakersfield, California. The most complete news, sports, weather, video, opinion, and lifestyle coverage in Bakersfield and Kern County. It's the easiest way to stay up to date on all things local while on the go. Read it on your smartphone or tablet. Download now by searching Bakersfield Californian in the Apple, Google, and Amazon app stores.
We pursue excellence in the classroom and strive to achieve our potential. We compete on the field with integrity,
on the court with respect,
and in the pool with distinction.
We are strong leaders in our community and gain values from our biggest fans.
We continue the legacy of commitment to our universities, to our coaches, to our teammates, and most importantly to you.
We learn, we compete, we inspire.
We are the Western Athletic Conference.
The Roadrunner Scholarship Fund creates educational opportunities for over 300 student athletes at CSUB. By becoming a member and donating to the Roadrunner Scholarship Fund, you're not only helping the Roadrunners fund the scholarship needs of our teams, you're investing in the future. The Roadrunner Scholarship Fund isn't just developing student athletes, we're developing tomorrow's leaders from lessons learned during competition. For more information, log on to gorunners.com/donate and become a member of the Roadrunner Scholarship Fund.
Welcome back to Roadrunner Rundown. My thanks to Greg McCall joining us on the program, CSUB women's basketball head coach. The Roadrunners open up Friday night at the Icardo Center against Air Force. Tickets available at valleytix.com, and all the games, matter of fact, men's and women's basketball single game tickets available now at valleytix.com. Check them out and get your tickets for Roadrunner basketball coming up. And again, Friday, November 14th is the women's home opener, and they will take on Air Force at the Icardo Center. All right, well, because the reason why we have student athletes that can come to school here and have their educations paid for is the Roadrunner Scholarship Fund. And the last couple years, the news has been good coming out of the Roadrunner Scholarship Fund, and today is no different. Josiah Castro joins us on the program once again. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Corey.
All right, so good news today, more good news, which is what we like to hear when it comes to the money people. Josiah's one of the money folks on campus, see, and those people bring in the money. And when they have good news, that's all. When they have bad news, it's bad, but the good news is always really good. So what is today's good news from the Roadrunner Scholarship Fund standpoint?
So in June, we broke our all-time fundraising record.
Right.
With over $600,000 for the scholarship fund. We're announcing today that we've broke our membership record with having over 500 people supporting our scholarship fund.
Awesome. See, new records being set every day or every 6 months.
Well, we talk about momentum.
Yes.
And it's just showing that the momentum's there and that we're growing the supporters for Cal State.
No, it's great, and the phone and you've done a lot of different initiatives since you've been here. You've been very busy. And what has been probably the best way that you have grown the membership?
It's definitely through our phone-a-thons. It's reaching out to new people that we haven't touched before. What we've established is that we really haven't hit the people who have the biggest vested interest in the student athletes, their family, their friends, their old coaches. So we've established phone-a-thons where our student athletes reach out to their network and say, hey, please support us.
Yeah.
And those have been pretty successful for us.
So what happens is Josiah takes he actually brings out a bunch of 15 phones, right?
Yep.
So a bunch of wire. It looks like a small, like, Jerry Lewis telethon. We got everything all over the place, right? Phone, about 15, 20 phones. The funny part is most of those kids have no idea how to use an actual phone.
Yeah, no,
right?
They've told me that they've never seen a phone with a cord connected to it, which made me feel old.
So after we run the tutorial on how to use an actual, luckily they're not rotary phones or they'd be completely lost. Basically, they just sit there and make calls. I mean, right? They're just calling uncles, aunts, friends, cousins, people they can shake down for money.
Well, we set them up with a script. We want them to be polite.
Sure,
we want them to tell them why they're calling.
Yeah.
We do a little bit of training. We feed them, and then we get to the calls.
Yeah.
We try to make sure that they're having a lot of fun with it because energy and enthusiasm helps build support.
Yeah.
And then it's an opportunity for them to also invite their family and friends out to a game.
Yeah. Nice. And so far, so we had softball do one just the other night, right? And they pulled in a few new members?
Last night, softball did one, and we brought in about 20 new members.
Nice. Good. And then, so you've had softball. Who else is doing? Track did one?
Track and field did one. Soccer. Softball was my first. They actually liked it so much that they did two.
It again. Nice.
And Greg McCall was just here. He did one with women's basketball.
Okay.
So it's building support for each individual team scholarship, which helps everybody.
Sure. Excellent. So those have been a huge success. You've also, I know, part of what you've done as well, have brought in these new alumni mixers as well.
Yes. We're trying to reach out to our alumni.
Mm-hmm.
With 70% of our graduates staying in the Valley, it's an untapped market for us. We just haven't had the manpower or the time to really just reach out and say, hey, we want you guys back.
Yeah.
So very casual, just reaching out to the ones that we have connections with and saying, hey, come hang out with us, come meet the coaches. And we're going to grow that relationship. The next step is come out to a game.
Yeah.
And then hopefully what will happen is they'll become supporters of scholarship and season ticket holders and sponsors because so many own businesses here in the area.
Yeah, and part of it too is there was so much of a remember this program is only into year number essentially 8 of Division I status. And so a lot of the years Division II, those kids came into the program. Graduation wasn't a huge priority at the time at the Division II level. So they came, they played, they left, they went back home, they went wherever. And so they really didn't leave a connection. But like as you mentioned, a lot of them stayed in the Valley. And so you're trying to sort of reconnect those players. But it seems like since the Division I era, there's been a little bit better job of keeping up with some of the alumni.
Yes. Well, and technology always helps.
Yes, exactly.
We're keeping better records with emails, phone numbers, addresses. When you do look back before we really started tracking that kind of stuff is where it's gotten harder.
Right.
The alumni mixers are an opportunity for us to grow at grassroots.
Yeah.
We have one email from somebody who played in 1975, and he played 75, 76, 77. He knows people who played 77, 78, 79.
Yeah.
Those people know somebody who, and it grows. So ultimately, we want to grow it to where we're connected to all of our alumni again.
Nice. And so several things have helped get this scholarship fund total up to 500 and plus members coming into today. A new record. Where I don't know if you guys set a new overall fund record last year. I don't know if you want to throw out the actual number, but you guys are trying to do another record again. Are you getting some momentum for that?
Yes, we are. Our goal for this year, we did over 600,000.
Mm-hmm.
We want to do 660,000. We want to grow it by 10%. When we talked about membership, we said we wanted to do 475 members. So we've already broke what we set our goal at.
Yeah.
So what it's looking at is we want to get to 700 members by next year.
Good.
We want to keep growing. Ultimately, for us to get to where we need to be, we need 1,000 supporters of the scholarship fund.
Okay.
And it only takes time. It takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, and really providing people with a great experience when they do donate.
Yeah, and it seems like they're well taken care of, and again, the great events we've had as well. We did something the other night. You kind of put it on. It really wasn't through the scholarship fund. It kind of was, but the Chamber of Commerce, the all chamber mixer hosted at CSUB, and I had a great time just kind of talking with. There were people there though that were like, "Wow, I've never been in this building." I'm like, "It's been here since '88." Like, how do you? And they just because that kind of brought a different audience to the arena, but they got a chance to kind of see what CSUB had to offer.
And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to expand our reach. We have a really great base. We've had donors that have donated since day one to us. Now we want to bring in new people and really start stretching our limits. One of the things that we see is that there's a lot of businesses in this town that have graduates from CSUB, have student athletes. that graduated, and they have a connection without really realizing it. We want to let them know, hey, we are your university. We're producing future leaders in this community, and we wanted to show them that we care, that we want a partnership.
Yeah. No, a lot of fun, and people had a blast, and like I said, a lot of new faces were, wow, yeah, I haven't been here since I went to school here, or something like that, you know. Or I talked to an alum of where was he? He was at I don't know, it was like Sacramento State or something is where he graduated from, but he lives in Bakersfield now and works with a few CSUB alums, and he said, well, you know, I didn't graduate from this Cal State University, but I graduated from, you know, Sacramento State, but I'm going to come back to these basketball games because this is the closest thing I have. You know, it's the closest Cal State to me, so I'll support this school. So that was kind of cool to see people that were, you know, trying to find ways to help support the program. So what do you guys have coming up? I know we have the Easton Corbin concert on December the 11th. Yep. That's probably the next biggest fundraiser, right?
The biggest one would be Easton Corbin at the Fox Theater. Then we're going to have our hot stove. We just announced that we're going to have the Angels manager come out and speak.
Yeah, Mike Sosha,
That's going to be January 10th. And then in February, we'll have our golf tournament. And then before we know it, the spring barbecue will be right around the corner.
Yes. Easton Corbin, by the way, December the 11th at the Fox Theater. Great concert last year with Winona. She came and did a great job. This is going to be a different kind of show. Easton Corbin is former, ACM New Country Act of the Year like a couple years back. So he's right there and definitely going to bring a great show at the Fox Theater. Tickets are available, and the proceeds benefit the Roadrunner Scholarship Fund. And then, as you mentioned, Mike Sosha coming to town for the hot stove dinner, which kind of helps raise money for baseball and Hart Field improvements and that kind of stuff. So very cool. Now, how can folks get involved with just the Scholarship Fund and information on how to do that?
There's several ways they can do it. They can give me a call. My phone number is 661-654-3209. They can go on to gorunners.com/donate. All the information about our events, how to give, where your money goes is on there. And then just coming out to the games. You know, it's not always necessarily a donation. We need supporters out at the games too. Really, any way that somebody wants to support, we're here to help them find that way.
Nice. All right. Well, congratulations on the record number of members, and obviously, I know you have a more lofty goal. So good luck getting to that, and we'll talk again soon as we get closer to some of our big fundraisers.
Sounds great. Thanks.
All right, Josiah Castro here on Roadrunner Rundown. Stick around. Lauren Kaufman will join us next, Student Athlete Advisory Committee President, and also we'll talk about a couple events they have coming up as well too during the holiday season. Stick around. We'll be back. It's Roadrunner Rundown.
Honey, have you called Gunlax about fixing that toilet upstairs?
You know, I saw a plumbing episode on the Fix It channel. Yeah, I can fix it.
You could try it yourself, or you could just call Gunlax and save your marriage.
Hey, honey, I think I did it.
Gunlax, 327-3052.
That wasn't so bad.
This is Dignity, the smile given to a sick child, the steps taken to find a cure, future leaders learning to make a difference, humanitarians who give from the heart, and a love that comes from above. At Mercy and Memorial Hospitals, dignity is more than just a word. It's who we are.
Introducing TBC Mobile from the Bakersfield, California. The most complete news, sports, weather, video, opinion, and lifestyle coverage in Bakersfield and Kern County. It's the easiest way to stay up to date on all things local while on the go. Read it on your smartphone or tablet. Download now by searching Bakersfield Californian in the Apple, Google, and Amazon app stores.
Catch and shoot for three.
Roadrunner basketball season tickets are on sale now. Men's home games include Delaware, UC Riverside, New Mexico State, and Valley rival Fresno State on December 6th. Get your season tickets and be guaranteed your seat when the Bulldogs come to the Accardo Center. Season tickets start at just $99 for general admission. Purchase your season tickets at GoRunners.com or by calling 654-BLUE. CSUB Roadrunner basketball back on the blue court of the Accardo Center this season. We're all runners. The Roadrunner Scholarship Fund creates educational opportunities for over 300 student athletes at CSUB. By becoming a member and donating to the Roadrunner Scholarship Fund, you're not only helping the Roadrunners fund the scholarship needs of our teams, you're investing in the future. The Roadrunner Scholarship Fund isn't just developing student athletes, we're developing tomorrow's leaders from lessons learned during competition. For more information, log on to GoRunners.com/donate and become a member of the Roadrunner Scholarship Fund.
Welcome back to Roadrunner Rundown. My thanks to Josiah Castro, and congratulations to the Roadrunner Scholarship Fund for a new record. Over 500 members. That's a new scholarship fund record. So congratulations to them. And more information about the scholarship fund available at GoRunners.com. Also, Greg McCall joined us earlier, women's basketball head coach, previewing their upcoming season, which starts on Friday night against Air Force at the Accardo Center. A lot of stuff happening in the month of November from the Roadrunner standpoint, and also the Student Athlete Advisory Committee are very involved in a lot of that stuff. I want to welcome to the program now. She's the president of SAC here at CSUB, Lauren Kaufman from CSUB Women's Swimming. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good to see you again. Now, a lot of things happening. First, we'll start with the volleyball tournament, which will be next week, the WAC volleyball tournament. You guys have kind of taken it sort of upon yourselves to be involved with that. So what is SAC doing as the entire conference comes in for that tournament?
Well, as a SAC, we wanted to do something nice for everybody coming in and represent our school well. So we're going to make goodie bags for all the coaches involved. Like every team's coach, we're going to give them a little goodie bag. And I think Karen Langston is in charge of the tournament, so we're going to talk to her about maybe being runners and see if she needs any help from SAC.
Awesome. So kind of like ambassadors for the program as you come in. That is great. So that'll be a good sort of welcome for all the teams coming into the Accardo Center. And then a real big event that you guys have, I know, spent a lot of time on is after the 23rd. So on Sunday the 23rd, men's basketball plays at 4 o'clock. It's a 4 o'clock game against Delaware, right before the start of finals week, right?
Right.
So you guys had this idea to sort of lighten the mood after the game. So what's on tap that night?
Yeah, so we decided to raise money for the toy drive. Everybody who comes to the game, if you bring a toy, or if you don't go to the game and you pay $3 or bring a toy after, we're going to host a lip sync.
Nice.
So every team is going to prepare a song, maybe a dance, and we're going to lip sync in front of everybody.
That's awesome. I am a fairly skilled lip syncer. I took a class in high school, and they had a big lip sync every year. Well, the teacher made us actually, like, each class had to do one because she was in charge of it. So there just might be VHS footage of me and doing the time warp from Rocky Horror Picture Show. It could be out there. It could be out there somewhere, but we were pretty good at that. Those are a lot of fun. Do you have any of the teams come out with what song they're gonna do yet?
Yeah, well, they're supposed to tell me the songs by next week, so I can get them on a flash drive. I know water polo's song and women's swim song, of course.
Okay, nice.
So.
And you guys, and both between water polo and women's swimming, there's a lot of creativity. Because last year in the Rowdies, you guys were all really strong contestants. Yeah. So, all right, I'm looking forward to that. And so fans just basically, you mentioned the toy drive. That's part of that. So on the 23rd and the 30th as well, those two men's basketball games, actually through the month of December too, you bring a toy to the game, a new unwrapped toy. You'll get a general admission ticket for $5. So if you bring those to the game that day, you also get your admission for the lip sync afterwards?
The lip sync, yeah. And we'll be walking around kind of with bins to get donations because it's a really good cause and it's really important. And it's also a competition between WAC institutions.
Okay.
So if we can represent Bakersfield and get as many toys we can win, and that would be so awesome.
Yeah, and I know that's kind of been a big part of your presidency, basically, is you really want to win that WAC SAC award, don't you?
Yeah, I really do. I think I think our school is so awesome and great, and the other schools in the WAC have had these great ideas that we've learned from, and that's kind of where I've been taking everything from, and I think we should start turning our school in the direction of those institutions and just make a name for ourselves.
Nice. No, it's definitely a good way to do it. What what have you thought in the first few months of school? I mean, about how this SAC has worked together. I mean, what's your thoughts on this group?
I think they're a great group, and honestly, so far we've done so much and have so much planned, more than any year before. And this year, people are actually excited and want to work, and we have little committees within our SAC, and people are just getting super stoked for the year and super excited to help out.
And you guys have had a lot of, it seems like, also leadership administratively now as well. I know Doc Waller's helping out a little bit, and Dean has always been doing it. But I know Doc has kind of transitioned into the life skills / SAC area. So how's that been, having really an administrator kind of dedicated to help you guys out?
Oh, it's awesome. Doc is great, and he makes my life so much easier. If it wasn't for him, we would be completely lost. He gives us a lot of great ideas, and he helps us organize stuff, and he keeps things in track for me. So he's really great to have around.
Awesome. And then you guys have what are some other things as you kind of get ready for the next quarter and stuff like that SAC sort of has planned and looking to maybe do on the horizon?
Well, right now, since it's the holiday season, there's a ton going on, and SAC is really involved. We have the lip sync, the toy drive overall. We might do a canned food drive. We're still talking about that. Before the end of January, we're going to do a celebrity read at a local elementary school. And that's another WAC thing. Every school in the WAC is going to do it. And we're just going to go to a local elementary school and read to the students there and kind of get to know them, make it a big deal to help out younger kids in the community. Nice. And so for now, those are the things we're looking at because it's a lot to plan.
If you need a celebrity, I'm available. I'm kind of a small celebrity.
Yeah, no, we definitely want to get Rowdy there. We want to get everybody there.
Rowdy is good, but Rowdy's not very vocal. So reading to kids might be an issue for Rowdy.
Yeah.
And also turning the pages of those big fingers of his. It just creates a problem. No, those are great. And I know the kids, they love those. When you bring in a coach, you bring in an athlete. Like for a third grader, fourth grader, that's like the greatest thing ever.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's funny because my wife still has this from the I think the first men's basketball national championship team. She still has these scraps of paper and like a team picture. They came to her elementary school, and like we found them in a box the other day. It was like, here's these autographs from these CSUB Roadrunners because when they were in like 5th grade, that was a huge deal,
Yeah, you want to be like them.
Yeah, exactly. So those things and those are a big deal for the for the students for sure. So yeah, I mean, I can read too. So I'm a celebrity small and I can read.
Perfect.
So
I'd probably like to see you more doing the lip sync though. I think that would be.
It's a tough time of year for me, but I don't know. I have to see. So actually, I'm more of a karaoke guy these days. So I want to talk a little bit about swimming as well. So I don't know how you do it because on top of being a student and being, of course, a student athlete, you're also president of SAC, and you've also got to figure out where to train and get ready to actually compete, which you're doing with women's swimming. You guys have had a pretty good start to the year. I mean, you scored well. You might not have won every meet, but you scored very well. And I know you're a young squad, but Chris Hansen's very excited about what you're going to be able to do as a team.
Yeah, we're a young squad, but we're also small.
Yeah.
And I mean, every girl on our team is amazing. We're such a strong team. We have so many talented girls. We just are low in numbers this year. And I mean, that's okay because we swim so well every time. It's not always about the win. It's about how we do. And I think being small, that's something we could take into conference and still be awesome at conference. Just in dual meet season, it's kind of hard with a few less girls.
Yeah, now you guys were up in Seattle or up in Idaho this past week, beat up on Seattle pretty good, and then lost to Idaho in a close one. Now you're going to the Arena Invitational this weekend. This is like down in Monterey Park. This is a big one, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's not just like a normal dual meet or like a college meet. It's going to be a whole bunch of schools and a whole bunch of people coming in from different areas, so it's really cool.
Yeah, I know this is like on the November side of the schedule. The Arena Invitational for both the men's and women's squad is also really big. Now you guys will also have, of course, a few. You have your big conference meet that'll come up in February. What did you kind of learn as an athlete last year swimming in the WAC? It's been a couple years for the women's team, but how do you prepare for a WAC championship because you don't really see those teams throughout the year?
Yeah, no, especially in swimming and diving, the WAC teams are kind of spread out.
Yeah.
We don't usually get to see them. That's why it was really nice swimming Idaho, especially because they're a top 3 team in the WAC usually.
Yeah.
So it was great to get to race them. I guess but in the past 3 years, it's just like we go to arena and we practice the 3-day meets kind of, and you just build up to it and just kind of experience, I guess.
Absolutely. Now, and then you have a lot at home coming up in December and January. December 13th against Cal Baptist, the 2nd against San Jose State, the 6th against UNLV and Fresno State as well. So a lot of chances for folks to come out and see at the. I always like going to the swim meets because you guys are so energetic. I mean, both teams, and even if you don't know what's going on, because most of the time I'm just seeing people in the pool. I'm kind of paying attention to what event it is, but I'm trying to figure out what exactly is going on. I know there's a lot of hand signals for the long events being sent out. It looks like the stock exchange. But you guys, I mean, you're so energetic about it. Your team, I mean, it really is. It's a fun atmosphere.
Mm-hmm. I always tell people to just look for the yellow caps and try to cheer them on to win. So you want a yellow cap to touch before every other cap.
Right, and that's the simple way to put it. And plenty of opportunities for people to do that coming up in December and January. All right, once again, November 23rd, the lip sync after men's basketball. Fans, make sure you stick around after the game for the lip sync. Also, the toy drive. Get a $5 general admission ticket and your basically admission to the lip sync by bringing a toy to that game on the 23rd. We'll accept toys through the 30th and through December as well. $5 GA tickets for your toys. Lauren, thanks so much for joining us, and job well done. You're doing a great job with SAC, and we'll kind of keep it rolling as we get into the new year.
Thank you.
All right, Lauren Kaufman here on Roadrunner Rundown. We are out, folks. Hey, next week on the program, since I'll be flying back with basketball from the islands, we're going to have a special winter sports preview edition of the program. We will preview men's basketball, women's basketball, men's and women's swimming, and wrestling all on next week's program as we catch up with head coaches, some student athletes, and bring you some footage of practice and all that good stuff. That's coming up next week right here on Roadrunner Rundown, so make sure you get ready for that one. And again, winter sports preview edition of the program. You can get schedules, results, and all that good stuff anytime online at GoRunners.com. You can put our games right into your phone thanks to eCal, and that stuff just pops up on your daily schedule when it's time to go to the Roadrunners game. So check it out online at GoRunners.com. Follow us as well on Facebook, Facebook.com/CSUB Roadrunners, on Twitter and Instagram at CSUB Athletics. Again, winter sports preview edition of the program next week. Make sure you join us right here on Bakersfield.com and GoRunners.com. Thanks so much for joining us, folks. This has been Roadrunner Rundown.